He is the beast from Hollywood East, Michael the Hammer Mulligan.
Hey folks, Michael Hammer Mulligan here. Our next guest is a good friend of mine, Mark Featherstone. Mark started with us a while ago doing training for Shani and for Eric, and he's done it for a lot of other folks. And what we're going to talk to him about is a couple things. First of all is about him and how his career and his goals have been met and how he's been doing with his training of fighters and normal humans, as he calls them. Also, we're going to talk about Giuliano Coutinho's school. It's called Gracie Fitness. Now, Giuliano's been on the Cape for quite a long time now. He's been teaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He teaches under the Gracie family name, under Daniel Gracie. And I started going to him probably 9-10 years ago when he was in just off the Hyannis Rotary. He's moved a couple of times since, always getting larger and larger. And now he's just opened up a facility that's 7,500 square feet, I believe 7,000 to 8,000 square feet. It's in Hyannis. And it's extraordinary. He just did the whole thing. It's brand new on the inside. So congratulations to Giuliano. And what he did was he's a real smart guy. And he knows that, you know, a place like that, you need to have more than just one thing. You need to have more than just the jiu-jitsu. So what he did was he developed a team of some of the best guys around in their fields and had them come into his gym to help him with what he's got going on over there. You know, for instance, he's got Loco Lobo, Michael Grash, Jeanette Grash, and a few others doing Muay Thai and teaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu alongside with him and how it translates into mixed martial arts. Also, he has Mark Featherstone, which is who we have today to talk to. And Mark has his area in there, Gracie Fitness. So he has his fitness area in there. And so a big part of the sport these days of mixed martial arts and a big part of martial arts themselves has been the training, the conditioning of the body. So Giuliano, smart as he is, put all these things together in one room so that you could just have a great experience when you're there. You don't need to go somewhere else to get that fitness part of the game. You know, Giuliano's brought it in with Mark to make it a full, you know, service place. It's also got a juice bar in there, and they serve food out of it. They get nutritionists. They got a full package down there. So congratulations to Giuliano on the opening of your new school. And next week, I believe we're going to be down there next Sunday for open mats to do a little filming, seeing what he's got going on down there, and to hopefully Giuliano will be in next Friday to film with me so that he'll be on our next show. He's got a huge fight coming up with UFC legend Tim Sylvia, man, 6'8", 360 pounds, and it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a battle. So I can't wait to talk to him on that. But now we're on to the beast himself, Mark Featherstone. So stay tuned. Hey folks, Michael Hammer Mulligan here with Mark Featherstone. Mark, what's up, my brother?
How you doing, Him?
Long time.
Long time.
So when was the first time you were actually on the show?
On this show? Probably 3 years ago when you first started, 2 years ago when you first started?
I think so. It was like right at the beginning. Mark was one of my first.
Yeah.
At the time, I think you had 1 or 2 fighters.
Yeah, well, I've always had Shane, your son, the future, and Razzle Dazzle, and I think that's all I really had back then. That was before.
There was one other guy. I think the reason why I actually talked to you was there was another fighter that was training with another school that you said that you were working with a little bit, and that's what got me interested. Well, that and the fact I saw you at every fight.
Well, I mean, way back when I worked with Michael Drohan, and then from other schools, Lee Metcalf. I worked with both the Proctor brothers. I worked with Ricky very recently, actually, but honestly, I don't remember back then. I'm so busy.
Sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Well, I guess my point is I just was kind of wanted to see how you've grown since, because it's been amazing.
Exponentially.
Good word.
It's awesome.
It's a quarter, man. Exponentially. That's awesome. So on an average daily basis, how many fighters? We'll get to the other people. Obviously, you're not a one-trick pony, but how much was it? Humans, yeah. How many fighting humans do you work with on a daily basis?
Fighters, well, now that we've got the Gracie Gym open, I'm working with 4 or 5 fighters a day, one-on-one. During fighters intervals, when I first started that at Powerhouse, I was working with up to 20 a day. You know, if I would get 10 at intervals, and then whatever would happen throughout the rest of the day.
Yep.
So,
did you foresee this? Did you foresee this when you started?
You know what's funny is I was thinking that, you know, I came to Plymouth and I told people I'm going to work with fighters. They're very dynamic. It's so exciting. I want to do this. And everybody's like, well, do you know this person? Do you know that person? At the time, I didn't. You know what I mean? I was just a fan. I was in the audience. Yeah. And here I am 5 years later, and do they know my name? Yeah, actually. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I did. You know, I kind of hoped and believed in myself.
So it was a goal.
Yeah, it was a goal.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it when a plan comes together.
I do too.
So all right. So you started when I met you again. You were at Powerhouse, and you then after you were there for a bit. I saw you started the interval classes with the fighters after you decided that this was actually going to start to bloom. Yeah. How did that take? Tell me what else you do. What other people humans that you work with? What else do you do?
Well, my niche. I mean, it's taken years to create who I'm going to work with. A lot of people at Powerhouse Gym watched me, and they would see me training fighters and the crazy stuff I do with fighters that obviously they're such dynamic athletes I wouldn't expect a regular everyday human to do. Right. But they see it, they get nervous. So then I started running regular boot camps for the general public, and they get a chance to work with me and see that I could do both. So I work for everything from 10-year-old kids all the way up to 78-year-old people. I do rehab after post-PT for knees and shoulders. I'm very good at all.
Shaney, both.
So yeah, you know, I mean, fighters, knees and shoulders are fighters all about that. But heart attack patients, people like that, people who have been told, listen, if you don't get off your butt, you're going to die. So I teach them how to get off their butt, because believe it or not, they have a hard time getting off their butt.
So you're not full on fighter mode every person. You design the program around each other.
No, every single, and every fighter is a little bit different. I have this, you know, a certain set of things that I do or I expect to try with them, but every fighter's got their own abilities. I hate to say limitations, but some of them do have limitations. So yeah, I have to design everyone individually.
Yep. Now you're a big outgoing guy. I mean, you have a lot of people already. How are you dealing with that? Have you take anybody on? Do you have any help?
I have an assistant. Her name's Lynn Dooley. I just took her on because I thought I was going to have neck surgery. Sooner or later I am. And I have a kids program that I run at Powerhouse, and I was like, at the time it seemed emergent.
Right.
Have to have this neck surgery or you're going to die.
Well, that's the best time. Usually it takes something like that to get you to expand. Right.
So I brought her in, and she did a great job. So now I have a little bit of more free time. And then it happened that I was at what was then the Daniel Gracie Cape Cod Academy. Yep. And it turned into times where I needed her to help me there. So she's with me in both schools, or both gyms. And now she's with me in both gyms now that we're at Gracie Fitness too. So
beautiful. Now let's get into that a little bit. Let's talk about Gracie Fitness. Now that's tell us all about it.
Well, you know, Gracie Fitness is something that that kind of fell from heaven. You know what I mean? It's just amazing. We have the opportunity came to Banana and I had spoken to him before. I said, listen, you know, I'd like to buy a chunk of equipment and put it in a gym, because a lot of fighters don't want to join another gym like Powerhouse. And we discussed it, and at the time it was Daniel Gracie Cape Cod Academy. It was too small, and things happened that, you know, obviously I can't talk about because business is business. But we were afforded this. We found a 7,000 square foot building. We dedicated 2,400 square feet to mats. The mats are all white, the walls are white pads, we've got a 30-foot ceiling. We did industrial over the ceiling, it's black, it's amazing. You walk in, it's like a spa. We've got a juice bar, all fresh fruits.
I've seen some of the food that they're selling at the counter. Like,
we're not selling food. That's a program that we started with a friend of mine, Darren LaVorse, owns Canterbury Cuisine.
Right.
And I've been working with Dave Lyford as well, who's a nutritionist for my bodybuilders. So between all of this, we created a meals program so that they're not buying it from us, we're getting it from Canterbury.
I gotcha.
But it's being delivered by Darren LaVorse. So we have the opportunity for fighters who are too busy all day to eat healthy. Now you can do it for $15 a meal. Yeah. It's ingenious. And I just saw the other day that Daniel Gracie's doing it in Philadelphia as well, with a different, obviously with a different person or a different program, but same idea, offering fighters.
So the thing stems off of Daniel Gracie is where this is all coming from. That's great. Gracie Fitness is under Daniel Gracie's umbrella, I guess.
Yeah, and Daniel, as humble as he is crediting it all to Henzo. So it's called depending upon which side you look at, is called Henzo Gracie, the graceful art. And of course, we all kind of laugh a little bit, the graceful art of basically breaking knees and elbows, but it's still a graceful art.
Well, honestly, though, I mean, if you look at Banana, all right, so Giuliano was a 270-pound man who's a total beast.
Yes.
And when I roll with him, he's liquid.
Yes.
He is very, very liquid.
Yeah,
he is graceful. He is honestly graceful. It's not about, like you say, you know, it is elbows and knees, but bottom line is it's about patience.
I've seen him when he teaches. And the same with Daniel. When they teach somebody, especially one-on-one, they'll get into a position and they'll just sit there and they'll wait for you to move and they'll suggest a counter move and then they'll say see, and it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And I learn from that when I'm watching any kind of fighting, whether it's Muay Thai or wrestling or boxing or jiu-jitsu. I'm watching the muscles work. I'm watching the joints work. I'm watching what's making you tired. I'm watching where your strengths are. And again, it goes.
And that's how you develop your program.
Absolutely.
Because you know exactly by watching it. You were taking lessons too. I know you've been doing a little stuff with Loco and a couple. So it's nice that you participate in that because you get to feel it also to see where the talk begins. Right. So what you do? What is your role down there? What is your thing down there?
Well, besides the fact that we have the amazing juice bar and 2,400 square feet of mats, we have 1,300 square feet dedicated to strength and conditioning. I bought used refurbished equipment. I spent about a little over 20 grand. I have everything that I had at Powerhouse that I used with the fighters in here, but now it's mine. So now I don't have to charge as much money. Effectively, they're paying the same for me if they work with me one-on-one at Gracie Gym as they would if they bought a bundle of them at Powerhouse.
Right.
Just because I didn't want I don't want any interference between the two. We're still close enough, and I still work at both gyms.
Right.
So I would say my title is strength and conditioning coach, and I'm in there doing privates most of the time. I can run. I have enough functional equipment to run boot camps, fighters intervals. I'm about to start up again, but it's hard to get a group of fighters to do something that's not
because this isn't and the other thing too is that this is not these guys are professional fighters and amateur fighters, but they're not at the point. Some of them are right on the verge of being at the point, but they're not at the point where they can make a living off of this.
Right.
So we'll call them semi-pros, where they still have to work for a living and then try and fit this in and do everything. So you're right, it is very hard to get them all together. There's always injuries, there's always
absolutely,
you know, and that's good. That's good. So you're still at Powerhouse Gym. You're still doing stuff there. You're at Gracie Fitness. You're feeling the bend. You're feeling the stretch.
I feel really good, actually. You know, like now that I'm at Gracie Fitness, so I'm a part of a fight gym, and I'm in it every day. I'm in there 3 days a week, and I'm in there for 12, 14 hours a day. And I feel kind of why the fighters don't like to go to Powerhouse. You know what I mean? Powerhouse is an amazing gym, and it's afforded me some incredible opportunities, but it's not designed for fighters. It's not a dojo. It's not full of brethren. It's full of this group and that group. You know what I mean? It's massive, and there's things that fighters don't have any interest in, so they don't really feel like they're at home. So I get it. When I'm at Gracie Fitness, I feel like I'm a part of the family, a part of the gym. And I feel that way at Powerhouse too, because I've been there for so long.
Just on a different term. Right. All right, so that's great. Now, Banana's coming up. He's got a fight coming. Banana's a very, very good professional heavyweight fighter. He demands them all. So like I was just saying, he's liquid in his jiu-jitsu game. He's got to fight Tim Sylvia. Tim Sylvia is a UFC veteran who's probably, what, 6'8"?
6'8", 360.
6'8", 360 pounds, and apparently he's not coming down much for this fight.
I believe the word was that if he tried, he could get to 320, but he has no reason to try.
Yeah, he's got no reason. Right. So it's basically just a catch fight.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So he's got to go in there and fight this man. What are you going to do for him? Because he's 265, 270. What do you plan on him going in at weight? I mean, what weight?
Banana's going to stay at 270.
Good.
Banana can move around like a 185 or a 270.
Yeah, he can. Yeah.
I don't want to give away too many secrets, but he's prepared. He can put Sylvia where he wants him, and once it hits the ground, it's over.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. I mean, there's things I do with all fighters. One of the biggest things I do is I don't make them gain weight. I make them stronger, more explosive, more endurant, and I keep them at their weight. And he's best at that weight, which is what Tim Sylvia is thinking too. I'm walking around at 360. Why should I change? I want to be my best because this is where I feel my best. If that, I'm assuming that. So
do you think he's at his best at that, or is he just saying, screw it, I'm not going to get it?
Yeah, you know, honestly, I don't know Tim Sylvia, and I don't want to disrespect him in any way.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a great fight for Banana.
Oh, it's huge.
If he wins, when he wins, because he is going to win, it's going to be open a door for him. And if somehow he does get caught, then the guy weighs 100 more pounds than him. You know what I mean? So it's a no-lose situation, but there is no losing. We've got Mark De La Grotte, who I had the honor. This kind of, I was shocked by this the other night, and not in a bad way. We were at it was Peter Barrett's fight, and I got to stand next to Mark De La Grotte, and the guy is just so precise.
He's analytical.
We had 3 seconds to talk, and then he went right over to coach mode, and he shouted out, jab, jab, left kick, jab, jab, left kick, and Peter Barrett immediately jab, jab, left kick twice. The guy was bumming. It was just, and I was blown away because I heard it, I saw it, it happened. It was wonderful. So we've got that. We're sitting out time. We also come with Andy Cody, Dave Gleason, Greg Muldrow, John Johnson, and they're on Banana's team. Yep. We've got Loco Lobo and Jeanette. We've got a new wrestler at our own gym. He's only 21 years old, but he's all-state champion.
Who's that?
His name is Brandon Battles.
Oh, jeez, Battles.
Great
Battles. He used to wrestle. It was the funniest thing in the world because he's a monster.
Yeah,
he is a monster. He's a great kid
himself.
And he was right. He's 6'6". He was 240. I think he was wrestling that. He cut down to 235 to get into the heavyweight. But what he would do, because he was just an unstoppable force, and these kids on the other teams, there was some like Todd Bazarowski did really well at him in the JV year, I think it was, and then they didn't wrestle the next year. But what he would do is he would pick these people up in the air, and you would think the biggest slam was coming in the world, and he'd flip them, and he'd cradle them, and he'd just set them down on the ground. Nicest kid in the world. Yeah, I saw him fighting Spiral with Lee Beam the other day on a video. Oh my God. And I didn't know who either one was. It was at Alex's or Pat Walsh's gym. So I'm saying, who are these guys? Because Lee had his face buried. He's got a big beard now. So finally he turned and I saw it was Lee, and I went, "That's Lee. Who's that?" And then I realized it was him.
Good kid too. I mean, he's very respectful. He's coming and he's doing the no-gi class with us, and he's working one-on-one with Banana. So. He's
going to be phenomenal.
He is.
Is he going to fight, you think?
I would assume so. I mean, I think he wants to. I've only talked to him a couple times, and I don't know that much about him yet. But I know he wanted to be able to be a SEAL, and he passed all the tests. But I don't know why he's not a SEAL, or maybe he's on his way, or he's waiting or something. So I don't want to say anything I'm not sure of. So besides that, then we have when he goes up to City Hall, he gets to work out with Ribs, all the big shots up there. Diekman, before he got injured, I think he's got a knee injury. He's down with Gonzaga. He's fighting with sparring with Gonzaga.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's all over the place, and he's got Daniel. You know what I mean?
He's got great talents.
We couldn't be in a better place between the experience and brilliance of Daniel Gracie and Mark De La Grotte and all of our local people. And I'll put myself in that too. I mean, he's going to go in there.
Yeah, if it was a mafia, they'd be like the Godfathers, and everything else just comes right out of those two guys.
I mean, he's so ready for this.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So let me see. Tell me a little bit more about what you do for the guys. All right, so now, thinking back to what you were saying a little bit earlier about the guys, the fighters, not wanting to go as much to Powerhouse. And for me, from being a fighter in the past, my problem is that you make the time to go to one place, and it's very hard to make the time to go somewhere else once you get started. So to me, the benefit of that place at Gracie Fitness is you go in there and you work with stuff. Because when I was training with Ribs, when Rebella was doing all that cardio stuff and working me to get ready for my last fight, he put me through so much weight stuff, so much, so it's nice to be in the same facility when you can go over, you can hit the bag, and then you can go over and hit pads, and then you can go over and hit the weights. It's amazing. Now, when I used to go to Powerhouse before I started CCFA, and I do it on my own, I'd always go to the bag room. I'd be in there first. That was my cardio. I'd be in there for like 10, 12 rounds, 5-minute rounds, and then I'd go hit the machine, and then I'd go left. Now, problem was you'd always get stop, somebody else is in there hitting it, just doesn't know what they're doing, but you'd have to, so it would totally wreck your mojo. So in a place like that, you have everything.
Yeah, exactly. And then just like you said, we have a lot of kids. I have some teenagers that I'm handpicking, and we're taking them through, and I'm actually starting fighter training. And by fighter training, I mean not teaching them how to fight, but I'm cross-training them the way I would an adult fighter. So they're still getting legs, they're still getting chest, they're getting full body workouts, but I'm working them out in a way that absolutely fine-tunes their skills on the mats or in the cage or whatever.
Nice.
So it's a great opportunity, and it was what I wanted to do. It was like, you know, if I bring this to them, they will have it in their backyard, and they do. So a lot of these kids, they're going to class and then they're coming to the gym. A lot of, you know, the gym's not huge, but it's got I can work out a human there, an average citizen, so to speak. These guys can go in and get everything done they need to do, but it's designed for everything that I need for fighters.
Right.
You know, I do isometrics.
You can do a lot with a little. You don't need the whole thing. You don't need to go to Planet Lunka or whatever and deal with that. You know what I mean? It's like.
Although, I do have to say, Daniel Gracie did just make a picture of himself doing a Stairmaster at Planet Fitness, and I did personally send him a video saying.
That's funny. I remember Jimmy Cole. Jimmy Cole was a phenomenal weightlifter, you know, phenomenal bodybuilder, and I remember him when he had a juice bar right beside Planet Fitness in Plymouth, and he used to make it go over there. Yeah, and he used to go over there, and they'd actually the lunker alarm would go off, and they'd kick him out. It's like, what? You know, it was because it used to be world.
It's an honor. You know what I mean? Thank you for calling me a lunk. I appreciate it. It's almost like, are you on steroids? Well, no, I'm not, but thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. So what if I was?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so anything else we want to talk about before we end this beautiful thing?
I'm good. I want to shout out to a few people, especially locally. I want to thank Local Lobo for everything. He's always, and yourself, actually, no one number one on the list. You're one of the first people that trusted me with your son, Shane.
And Eric.
And Eric too. That's right.
And that was for football. Shane was fighting.
We made some steps with Eric too.
We did.
See, tall people were afraid of box jumps, and I got that kid to box jump. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I saw Jake the other day. Your son, he looks good. I think he joined Powerhouse.
Yeah, he did. Jake just
So,
He's a born cop now.
Right?
So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
awesome. Yeah.
But I want to thank people who sponsor us, like P4P, Adam, Chad Adamovich. Oh my God, try to say that 5 times fast. Chad Adamovich.
Adamovich?
Adamovich.
Chad Adamovich. There we have it. Now we got it.
They're a sports nutrition company, and they're sponsoring Banana, myself, Local Lobo, as well as Gracie Fitness. So I just want to shout out to them. If you go to www.p4psports.com, I think, and use Banana. No, actually, it's Giuliano15 as a code. You get 15% off on sports nutrition.
Nice.
Who else sponsors us? Badass, and Brian Hall. Brian Hall created my new logo, Local Lobo's new logo, Threads Unlimited. These are just people that have helped us out a lot. I think.
You did Peter Barrett's too.
Oh yeah. They've got some. They're really good. They're reasonably priced. He's out of Bellingham, Mass. He does a great job.
Yep.
He's Republican, but I forgive him for that. But you know.
Don't want to get political up in here. How'd you like my Ebola thing? Did you see that?
Oh yeah, that's funny.
All right, who else you got?
Again, locally, City of Tong, CCFA. Even South Shore Sports Fighting, because I work with a couple of their fighters. Even though I think it's what's his name, Bill Mahoney.
Buggy Mahoney. I tried to post my video on his thing the other day, the one that I just did, the Fireside with Slippery, and I find that I can't post on his wall anymore. Like, geez, what happened?
But thanks to them, I worked for Lee Metcalf and them. He was one of the greatest kids I ever worked with. So yeah, that's just. I want to thank all the fighters that trust me, the parents, and not just fighters, but I work with a lot of high school kids that parents trust me at Powerhouse. So just thank you everybody for believing in me and trusting me, and I still have a 100% success story. So there it is.
Yeah. So see here with this sport here, this is the thing I love about MMA is that it's martial arts is based on respect, humility, you know, and really hard work. So when people come into this sport, that's what they learn. That's what they become. And Mark, when he first started to do this with the fighters and stuff, already came with those qualities. Number one, he had the respect, he had the humility. He didn't think he was better than anybody else. He just worked really, really hard. And us watching him at Powerhouse Gym, we didn't know him. We saw him at the fights. I actually first walked up to him and asked him if he was a fighter.
Yeah.
Because he just looked the part, you know. He was, no, I'm just a fan. It's like not just a fan, I think is what I said. But anyways, from that point on, we started to work with Mark, and we developed a lot of trust with Mark. I trusted him with my kids, and everybody else around here that's met him and worked with him feels the same way. So Mark, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, I appreciate all the help with the kids, and you're doing a great job in the sport. Thank you for the sport. Folks, thanks for coming to another Fireside Chat with Michael, the Hammer Mulligan, and Mark Featherstone.
Thank you. www.bulldogthebeast.net.
Oof.
Don't forget that. Hoorah!
Hi, Mom.
Come on.